What's going on, Clash Bashers? Rocky here today, and today we're here to talk about a Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 12 strategy called Bat Slap. I wanted to share this with you guys today because I've been having a ton of success for it, especially at Town Hall 11. Like, I've been having a crazy amount of success at Town Hall 11, and I wanted to kind of showcase this. I don't do a ton of strategy stuff, but I literally had probably one of my best all-time wars at 11 and 12 combined. I had 6 total attacks. I ran my 2 12s and my 11, and I went 5 for 6 on triples, and the one miss on the Town Hall 12s was like a 92%, so it was pretty good, and all of them were using this Bat Slap strategy, and one of the 11 attacks was actually against a baby Town Hall 12, but it was a Town Hall 12 level 5, so I was pretty impressed with that, and I wanted to showcase this strategy for you guys today. I don't do a lot of strategy stuff, but I felt this one was worthy, and with that update right around the corner, it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this one's affected, because it does use healers, and that healer radius is shrinking a little bit, but I feel like this is still going to be okay. But before we hop into the replays and the talking about the strategy, let's go ahead and talk about today's comment question of the day, coming from Tej Clark. Hey Bashing, what kind of YouTube videos do you like to watch, non-Clash ones? So lately, I haven't really been watching a ton of YouTube. I've been watching GTA 5 roleplay streams, been having a lot of fun with that. But when I do watch YouTube videos, I like to do like a lot of like tech videos, like kind of keeping up with the tech. I mean, part of the job. I like a lot of like top 10 lists, especially like sports ones. I love like sports top 10 lists, and like food shows, like really interesting food shows, like Hot Ones or Binging with Babish. Love those guys. And then every once in a while I'll watch like some Casey Neistat and some vlogs, but not a ton of YouTube for me right now. A lot of GTA 5 roleplay, really into that. Hopefully that answers your question enough. I feel like that, I mean, that was quite a bit of stuff in there. If you guys want to submit your own comment question of the day, CQOTD down there in the comments, and you might get featured in a video just like Tej. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name too much. But let's go ahead and hop into these replays. All right, guys, we're going to start off with this 11v12, and we're going to talk about like what you need to look for in this attack. Anytime you see singles, like both single Infernos and 11v11, that's what the other replay was, and I'll show that real quick. Probably a little bit later in the video, because it was kind of an easier one. Like, really, singles against witches is just, it's easy money, especially with bats in there. So this is kind of the comp I've been using recently at Town Hall 11. We got 4 freezes in there. We got 7 bats. You want to get 2 max bats in your clan castle, because you get quite a bit more bats with the max bat spell. And then 1 rage. You can also consider dropping maybe a bat and a freeze for a jump if there's like an area where, like, say there was more wizard towers or something like around this multi-inferno. If there's an area where you think like you're not going to be able to kind of get through, you might want to take a jump, or if there's a, you know, you want to make sure those witches go the right way, you might want to take a jump. But what I like to do is I like to get, and this is pretty much what you have to do with this attack, you have to get to this eagle fast. You have to plan to get to that eagle and take it out as soon as possible. So what we're going to do, how we're going to do that, is we're going to create a little bit of a funnel. We got an E-drag, which we're going to put our E-drag right up here, and he's going to zap out some of this stuff. And then we're going to start a little bit of a baby queen walk right in here, and she's going to kind of come in and go right in there, and we'll bring in the wall wrecker, which actually the wall wrecker will kind of go more like that. And then we're going to bring the king with 3 witches down here at the bottom, just to clear out some of this stuff and create a funnel. So once that funnel is established, the wrecker is getting through, we're going to put the warden on the queen also once that E-drag is done. You want to make sure that your warden doesn't follow the E-drag. I've had that happen before. Once all that stuff is done, we're going to throw in the rest of the witches right back here, and then you want to kind of start thinking about where you're going to bat, and we'll talk about that kind of as we get into the into the replay, because the bats, like, you can plan for the bats, but I've kind of learned you got to kind of play them by ear. You'll see we get 2 minutes 49 seconds on this replay, so it's kind of close to time, but I bring that 1 goblin, just a little bit of cleanup. If you can save a baby dragon, or you can take that baby out. I was actually planning on using that baby over in here to take out, you know, some of this stuff, but the E-drag actually goes and does a good job to take that stuff out. So the baby drag was kind of a backup plan up there. So the E-drag is just going to be for our funnel right here. He's going to do a great job clearing out that top side, like better than anticipated. I expected him to go right towards that archer tower to start, but he goes right in here, clears out all that. Like, look at that huge, like, that was a pretty good E-drag. So we're going to start that little queen walk, like I said, because she's got a little bit more to do. Normally I would probably start my king first, or throw the queen in and immediately get the king going, kind of like right there, because you want to get that bottom funnel established and ready to go. So we got our king going. He's going to soak up some eagle shots. Yes, we activate the eagle a little bit early, but it's not a big deal on this. Like, the king will be able to tank a couple eagle shots and be fine. Be aware where your wrecker is going to go. You want that wrecker to go through the base, You know, we get a nice straight line through here. You don't want that wrecker, you know, going somewhere else because we want to get to that eagle. So we got that wrecker in a spot that the eagle is going to be attainable. Now this clan castle is a little bit annoying. We got two of the ice golems in there. I prematurely hit my warden's ability there. That was a complete accident. You can use your warden to get him, get the wrecker further into the base. Right there is where my warden ability should have been hit as that second eagle shot was coming in. Kind of got a little bit lucky that the witches didn't get taken out, but sometimes you need a little bit of luck if you mess up and hit the warden ability early. So you can see here, like, we are wrecking right on through here, clearing out that base. And what I want to do is I want to get, once I'm pretty sure that we're going to get right to that town hall, which you see the queen and stuff all going to, the only logical space for them to go next is a town hall. You want to start considering you're bringing in your bats. And since my bats have to take out all these defenses down here, I figure the town hall should be down in enough time that we can bring our bats in and work them up from this bottom side. When you're bringing those bats in, you need to be aware of, obviously, the wizard towers. The wizard towers will shoot when the bats are on one of these defenses here. I don't know if they would reach the bomb tower, but one of these defenses right in there, the wizard tower is going to be firing on your bats. So you want to make sure that that's not happening and you freeze that wizard tower. So here come the bats. They're going to start working in. And you got to kind of pay attention to everything because we still have our queen's ability at this point. We still have plenty of freezes. We have a lot going on at the current time. So we're going to double freeze that wizard tower. I just want to be safe because we're going to get to a point where we need to make sure that we have all of our bats up for the cleanup. We're freeze. You see that the wizard tower is getting ready to fire. I was almost late on that freeze, but we get that freeze in there. And the bats are just going to come through, clean up, and absolutely wreck. You see I throw that little goblin in there just to start cleaning up a little bit. But look at that. We got a ton of witches up. We got our queen. We hit her ability just to get through. And we're in a really good spot. All we got to do is just clean up. You got to be careful with those storages because the bats they take forever to get through the storages. They'll get through them, but they just take a little bit longer. So we get an 11v12 triple. Yes, it was a baby 12, but it still counts. It was a 12. It was actually a 12 with a gigabomb, so it counts even better. And those bats just absolutely wrecked that top side. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea. Let's check out a 12v12 on the bat slap. Alrighty guys, so replay is going to be a great example of kind of playing the bats by ear. So we're going to go in, the eagle's right here. Got to get that eagle up. We're going to start our E-drag right over here. I'm going to bring that wizard right in here to go on this elixir storage, but its Hez is going to pop up, which actually gives us some chain lightning value for that E-drag. So we're going to pretty much clear out all this stuff, but we don't do a great job clearing here. So the queen's going to kind of wander a little bit down here where we want the queen to go up into the base. We're going to throw the king and the three witches up top. This is a Town Hall 12. We're running a pretty similar comp, but we're going to add in one more witch. We're going to have an ice golem in there also. The ice golem you could take out depending on like what you want to do. With this one, I wanted it in there just to kind of soak up some of the damage and have that freeze going on. And we get a little bit lucky. We bring the 4 freezes, 7 bat spells, and a rage again because everything's going to pretty much go right through the base. So I don't really need a jump. There's no spots that I'm really concerned about everything getting held up on. But we're going to have to burn one of our freezes early over here because our queen goes shopping. You'll kind of see what I mean. But you'll also, the big thing with this one was the absolute craziness of how the bats ended up working on this one. So we're going to bring the bats in from the south side down here, but I had to make a good judgment call. Let's just go ahead and get into the replay. We'll talk about it when the time comes. So right here goes that E-drag. I like to bring one balloon in to put in front just to make sure that E-drag isn't going to catch a seeking air mine. Easy for me to say, right? That way the E-drags can get as much value as possible because we're spending 30 space on that E-drag. We want to make sure that the E-drag is going to clear out as many buildings as possible. So E-drag is going to get in there, does a great job clearing. I decided to throw the queen in while the E-drag's still working right there. There goes the king with those 3 witches. It's going to work that top side and start clearing. We're going to go ahead and get our wrecker in. The E-drag goes down. We're going to throw our warden in. The ice golem goes over to the far side. A lot of times I notice you don't need a poison with this. If you rage up those witches, they're going to get through. So The Wrecker does a great job. Wrecker gets right into the center like we want to. I popped that Warden's ability right there to make sure that our Wrecker gets through and to preserve our witches as that eagle shot's coming in, because you'll see our queen, she's gonna start wandering away from the pack here in a sec. She's going shopping, and we're gonna have to save her, so we're gonna have to freeze that single Inferno right there, which actually freezes the enemy queen. So we got a lot going on right now. Our queen's over here shooting the enemy queen, shooting all this stuff. We got all of our witches over here. We got a lot of stuff going on. At this point, I'm in a little bit of a panic mode, but we're sticking with it and being patient. That's the biggest thing with this attack, is patience. You don't want to rush things too much, especially your bats. But at this one, I'm like, man, where am I coming in with the bats? The original plan was to like bat a little bit earlier, but I waited a little bit long. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop the bats right in over here. And we're at 36%, so I'm hoping we can get the bats to clear out here, and kind of work around the town hall and go around the town hall before it kind of activates over there. So that's the plan with the bats, but you'll notice the town hall activate and we actually have to freeze it. But we bring 4 freezes, we have 3 left, and that's what you got to do sometimes. So definitely freeze that wizard tower, that way we can build up a nice wave of bats right there, a nice bomb of bats. I guess, you know, get a huge amount of bats going at bat bomb, bat wave, about the same there. So we're almost at the 50%, so we got to be careful. That town hall is going to get ready to activate. 50%, town hall's up. We're going to go ahead and freeze it right there, because we don't want our bats getting taken out, and nothing is getting to the town hall. Finally, our witches break through, and they are getting the town hall down. There was enough distracting the town hall that the bats weren't getting shot, and we have enough to get through here and clear that bad boy out, and that's just going to be cleanup from there. We got lots of storages there on the back side. This one was a little bit dicey. I like getting the town hall down a little bit earlier, but you have to get that eagle down, with the eagle kind of be on opposite sides of the town hall. I kind of like how this one worked out, working around that town hall. There was no defenses in there. A little bit of luck that there wasn't like a Tesla farm there to hold up my bats, because that could have been bad, but we had enough freezes to get through there. So that's what I'm saying with the bats. You kind of got to play them by ear. You can't really, you can have a general idea where you want to go with the bats, but sometimes you're just going to have to put them in where it makes the most sense, and where you think you're going to get the most value, because you're going to usually need the bats up for cleanup at the end like we needed there. We wouldn't have got the triple if we didn't have bats to fly over and take out that army camp. So a pretty nice little 12v12 right there. So you remember that base that we hit with our Town Hall 11 that was a really baby 12? Well, there was a maxed out 12, which was the same thing, and it even had the third Inferno up there, but it was a single. We got 2 singles and the multi. So I was like, I can run the exact same plan. Like, that single's not going to make a difference up top there. And even if it was a multi, the way I was going to go, I would just freeze it. I mean, we're going to run the exact same plan that we ran at Town Hall 11 against the max Town Hall 12. So if you guys remember, we're going to go E-drag right up top here, if you can see that little cursor, and then run our queen right in through here, run everything up the middle, and you'll see how this one goes. It works out. We get a little bit close on the time here. We had a few seconds left. We had about 3 or 4 seconds left, but literally running that exact same plan that we ran at Town Hall 11 against that Town Hall, the low Town Hall 12, and it works out really well. I wanted to try to get that E-drag to go towards that archer tower a little bit earlier. That's why I put the wizard right in there, just to make sure. I freeze the Inferno and AD just to get a little bit more value out of our E-drag, because I want him to get as much of that stuff taken out. That way our queen is going to really stay where I want her going on that walk. So we're going to go ahead and put that ice golem in front of the queen, because there is a single Inferno there, guys. You got to be aware of those singles, especially when you're queen walking. Queen's shooting a cannon, letting our healers get taken out. That's always fun. But again, we got the king down there working with 3 witches. We got a Wrecker coming in, literally the exact same plan. Here come the witches, and we're going to be in a nice spot to get up into the core of this base and start working through a double ice golem and clan castle again. We're going to go ahead and rage up the queen, rage up those witches. As second ice golem goes off, we go ahead and pop the warden's ability, but our Wrecker goes down really early on this one, and that's a little bit devastating, but luckily we're able to get that everything raged up and kind of work through there. So you see that eagle goes down, and that's what you need. You need that eagle down as soon as possible. We're going to get that multi down. We got witches working down at the bottom, which is actually really, really nice. I'm waiting to try to see if that wizard tower is going to go down, because I have a pretty strong feeling that that wizard tower is going to go down, which will help our bats kind of run through that bottom side. The plan is to run the bats basically from 6 o'clock all the way around the rest of the base. Queen's gonna work over, get that Town Hall out. I could have started the bats a little bit earlier than I did, but it works out fine here. So we'll throw a freeze right there, get the bats all working down in that bottom compartment, clear all that stuff out. Town Hall is down at this point. Queen shoots it down, and it's the same thing, guys. We're gonna freeze on time, freeze that last wizard tower, and we'll be good. The bats are just gonna run right on through this. We got plenty of stuff left for the cleanup, and that's all there is to it. Literally the exact same base, just a Town Hall 12, a good quality Town Hall 12. And if that Inferno was a multi, we would just freeze it and we would have still been fine. The bats would have got through there, no issues, and we would have still 3-starred this base. So not bad. It does come close on the time, a little bit sketchier because we lost our witches down there at the bottom, but sometimes you just gotta get there and make it happen. You can see those bats getting stuck on the storage sucks. Like, that is the worst because they do not do enough to the storages. But luckily the witches are taking out that bottom storage, and everything else is able to work through and kind of clean up here, and we finish it just in the nick of time. What we'll do next is we're gonna go ahead and check out that other 11v11 and kind of show how that one went, because it was a single Inferno base, and I want to show you guys how to just absolutely wreck those. Alrighty, guys, so single Inferno base, the nice thing when you're going 11v11, you don't have to worry about that Giga Tesla on top of the Town Hall 12. So we noticed the Eagles right here, so we want to get to that Eagle as soon as possible. However, we have Infernos, single Infernos, flanking it on either side. So my plan is to kind of just go right at one of the singles, if I could draw an arrow, go right at one of the singles and take that out, and then we'll bat the rest kind of through there. I cannot draw arrows to save my life, guys, but you'll kind of see what I mean here. We're gonna get a nice little funnel set. The king and witches portion on this one's a little bit different. We're running the exact same comp, but we're not gonna be able to like send that king like kind of down and around this side. Rather, he's gonna kind of come back up and go through that way. So let's go ahead and start the replay on this one. We got through this with plenty of time left, over 20 seconds left. Here's gonna come the E-Drag. We're just gonna try to take out as much of the stuff over here as possible. I mean, we want to try to stay away from that air defense and that single, but we also got to try to get some value out of our E-Drag, and we do a pretty good job of that. We clear out quite a bit. E-Drag makes a little bit of a dumb bozo decision there to kind of go in, so I'm like, all right, let's throw the queen in. Let's start our queen walk, because we pretty much were forced to right there. We're going to throw the king in, and honestly, I want the king to kind of come back towards everything. I want the king moving back up through here and kind of meeting up with the kill squad and going into the base with everything. We got a witch baby combo CC right there, which again, not a huge issue, but my record goes down. Kind of a mistake there. We want to maybe hit the warden there to make sure that that record stays up. King actually goes back outside. The plan was to get him to go up with everything, but he actually bounces back outside. But we're looking good here, guys. We're in a pretty good spot. We hit that warden ability as that eagle shot's coming in. So okay that we didn't hit it when our wrecker went down. And you see we're going right in here trying to get towards those Infernos. Maybe we got the left Inferno out on this one. I thought we got the right one out. Maybe we get the left one out. I think I was wrong there, guys. My bad. But you see we get right in towards those Infernos, and we're going to be nice. We use one of our 4 freezes on it. There we go. Okay, so we get the left one out. We go at the right one with the bats. My bad. My directions were backwards. A little bit backwards. I watched this replay before I started recording, so I kind of forgot where I was there. But you'll notice that Wizard Tower shoots and gets a few of our bats. I was late on the freeze. I was paying attention to everything else. A little bit late on the freeze. You got to be careful with that. That can cost you the whole attack. If we don't clear out some of those top defenses, that could be devastating. And we got enough witches and everything up, but always pay attention. We're late again there. This is where timing comes in. You got to be paying attention to your bats and paying attention with those freezes, because honestly, this one was really sloppy. I got a little bit lucky that those wizard towers didn't take out all of my bats, but we had enough witches and our queen, and we had enough time that we would have probably been okay. But it's better to always get everything down with the bats if possible, obviously. I mean, why risk it with cleanup with everything else when you can have bats flying all over the base? So a little bit lucky here, but we still get the triple. This absolutely wrecks. Anytime you see a Town Hall 10, or Town Hall 11 rather, with single Infernos, you want to think witches, you want to think bats, even drag bat. You just want to flood that base and just destroy it. If you can get to that eagle fast, don't force this attack on bases where you can't get to that eagle fast and have a line at the Town Hall, or have a decent shot at the Town Hall with everything else. You got to kind of plan for that. You can't just force this on everything. It works on a lot of bases, but there is a little bit of planning involved. Hopefully this has helped you out a little bit with this strategy, helps you learn just a little bit. But like I said, one of my best wars ever. You see, we won this war pretty handsomely. We got another 3-star here with CB. We'll quickly check this one out. It was a weaker base, so I didn't really want to show it off. I didn't feel like, you know, spending the whole time on the video because it was a pretty weak base. But you see, we got all the wizard towers in one spot. So the E-Drag's gonna go up there, zap her out, start weakening them. We get the wizard right there, and everything's just gonna go up into the middle of this base. We got a nice line to that eagle. We'll be good, guys. A little bit of a weaker base, but we're still gonna flood the base, get in there, double multi on this one. This just shows that the witches aren't afraid of multi, so you can get in there and be fine. You're running 12, 13 witches, you're not gonna have an issue. You're gonna have enough skellies up that it's not going to really affect things. So we eventually get that eagle out. The plan was to get that eagle out faster, but a little bit bad record drop, I think, was the issue here. But we have enough left here. We can go ahead and throw in the bats with the freeze on the wizard tower and Inferno there. And we're actually going to try... I missed the freeze on the town hall. We're going to try to get the town hall down with some bats, but that doesn't work out. We still have our queen up. Still have plenty of healers. We got witches on the outside. This one was good. I mean, a little bit sloppy, but it still worked out. I'll show you guys the fail also. We had I think it was a 91 or a 92% fail. I'm not afraid to show a fail. I'm not going to pretend like I'm the best perfect attacker, but this was one of my better wars at Town Hall 12. Right here, 91%. So I just did, I don't know. Let's watch this one and kind of reanalyze it. I don't know. This one just didn't feel great. The plan was hopefully to get the... balloon in there a little bit further and then have that wizard kind of work out those bottom buildings, but I had to throw the E-Drag down there to kind of take that stuff all out. Maybe, I don't know, maybe my funnel wasn't the best on this. I don't know, I felt like the funnel was alright, but it's a little bit sketchy. But we'll work in here. We're going to get the queen walk going. We'll have the king going up top again. We're going to try to get right in to that eagle. Eagle activates, as you see there. Queen's going to take on a lot of stuff. Maybe that's the big issue here. Queen takes on a lot of stuff, and we have to kind of pop her ability because I want to start throwing everything in. So I was kind of like in panic mode. So maybe that was a little bit of an issue. Queen does come back in here. King comes in with everything as well instead of going around up top. Hit the Warden's ability as that shot comes in, but we probably didn't need the Warden's ability there. I don't know. Yeah, our Wrecker still had plenty of health, so we could have probably saved that Warden's ability. That was a little bit premature because that eagle shot was on the king. He could have soaked that up, no problem. And we would have been fine. So this one we're going to be a little bit patient. We're going to try to let everything develop. We don't have a great line at everything here, and I think that also hurts us a little bit. Not having that queen's ability in the core of the base and not having a great line to take out like the 2 Infernos that are remaining. Like having 2 Infernos up this late is kind of a pain, but we're going to try to run the bats in there. I should have probably froze the multi, but the multi's in a spot where it was targeting like the witches and everything. And then our bats are pretty much just going to get ate up over here, which not good. You can't lose all your bats. Eventually, they're just going to get ahead of everything, and the town hall is just going to eat up all the bats. We get close. It was a high 90, but we just lose all of our cleanup because we lost our bats. I don't know. There's definitely room for improvement. Maybe I could have been just a little bit more patient on the bats on this one. You know, maybe I rushed them in. That's one of the biggest things that I see as a mistake is people kind of just rushing those bats in, where you can be a little bit patient and kind of let them develop. We will get the town hall down. We got stuff working, but we're in such an awkward spot. Also, the queen goes around out right here. Like, what is the queen doing? Like, why wouldn't she stay in there? She suddenly decides to go shoot the town hall, and that costs us pretty much all of our cleanup. I forgot that was the thing on this attack. Literally costs us all of our cleanup, and that's the main reason for the fail. We still almost get there through the slot, but the queen deciding to abandon ship and go YOLO cost us the 3-star mate. I don't know. It was still been close, but still a 91% for Town Hall 12. That's not too bad. So hopefully you guys have learned a little bit about Bat Slap today. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day. Keep on clash bashing.